Here he is, one of our most senior bureau chiefs at TSN, Farhan Lalji. A lot of respect for this guy. He's been around for a while. He's earned it. Farhan, great to see you, buddy. I imagine the talk of the town is still that Oliver Ekman-Larsson buyout, and I was just curious off the top to get your thoughts about what you thought of it when you first heard about it.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised when it happened. At the end of the regular season, when they had their media availability with management, Patrick Allvin said, we don't expect to be using buyouts. They didn't want to deal with the pain of those buyouts after the end of the contracts are done. We talked to Oliver Ekman-Larsson at his final availability after the fact when it was over. I had a chance to talk to him one-on-one. He didn't expect to be bought out at that time. They had spoken to ownership and management at the time, and then even I went up the food chain even higher and talked to people that would be writing those checks, and they weren't planning on making a buyout at the time. So when they finally made the move, it really underscored just how difficult it was for this club to move money, how much they were up against it as far as the cap was concerned, and just the desperation level to make a move like that.
And then, you know, you talk about the Ethan Bear injury, the fact that he might not be back until the holiday season, Farhan. So this team now, already thin on the blue line going into the offseason, considerably thinner. How worried should Canucks fans be at this point?
Yeah, I think they should be a little bit worried, and you look at where they're going to turn their attention in the offseason as far as their focus is concerned. When this all ended, I think we thought that third-line center might have been the biggest priority. Now it's got to be defense, and you mentioned those two names, OEL and Bear, two players that theoretically would have been top four options for this team, one on the left side, one on the right side. And interestingly enough, Ekman-Larsson, part of the reason he had such a tough season was because of the injury he suffered at last year's World Championships, and now Ethan Bear does it at this World Championships. He's got to have surgery on his shoulder, so it's going to take some time. And now they've got to get some depth, and they've got to find top four options, and it's a fairly thin free agent market, but at least now they've got some money available to work with. But yeah, they've wanted to build up their defense for a long time. Even the last management team needed to do that, and it's no different for this group.
Okay, so putting defense aside, you mentioned third-line center. Is that the number one priority other than defense for this team right now, Farhan?
Yeah, I think so. I think this organization has a glut of wingers right now, and they need some help down the middle. You've got JT Miller in the second line, and there's still people that wonder whether or not he's a winger or a center, but certainly the organization wants to proceed with him as a top six center. Nils Oman, a first-year player last year, was in that role, and he certainly belongs in the NHL, but would be better served in the fourth line. So a third-line center, a right-handed shot, and someone with some penalty kill utility would really be what this team needs right now.
Elias Pettersson. Oh, Canucks fans worried about this guy. What's going to happen with Elias Pettersson? Had a terrific year last year, going into the final year of his three-year, $22 million deal he signed back in October of 2021. Farhan, do you get a sense that an extension is imminent?
I wouldn't say imminent, but I would say that if it's going to happen, there's a good chance it happens this offseason. But again, there's no desperation on the Canucks' part to make this happen right away. It might make more sense for them to wait until next year. I think from the player's standpoint, he likes Vancouver. I don't think he's dying to move, but he also wants to win. And maybe Pettersson wants to wait and see what this organization is going to do, how they're going to build the team, how they take advantage of that newfound cap space, and where the organization is going before he makes his final decision. The club would like to extend him right now. There's no question about it. Allvin said at the end of the year he was going to have those conversations, but understand that even after next season is over, he's still under club control. So they've still got an opportunity to do it at that point. But I think from a Canucks fan's standpoint, you get nervous when you see what happened in Calgary last year with some of their top players moving on, demanding trades, saying this isn't where we want to be. You don't want to be Vancouver in that situation right now. So I think a lot of fans would breathe a collective sigh of relief if that extension got signed now, and that's going to start with a 10. So I think there's a lot of work to be done yet.
The Canucks also hold the 11th overall pick in a very deep draft coming up in just a few days. Farhan Lalji, great to chat with you as always, my friend.
Don't call me old next time, please.